Hello YouTube family, welcome back, and let's provide a solution given this algebra problem, which is x times x times x, which is the same thing as x cubed, subtract x times x, which is x squared. This is equal to 100. Now, what is the value of x? Solution from here. Now, x cubed minus x squared, this is equal to 100, okay? So let's take 100 on the left hand side so that we'll have x cubed subtract x squared subtract 100. This is equal to 0, okay? Now from what we have here, 100 can be expressed as 125 subtract 25, okay? This is equal to 0. We are saying that 100 can be expressed as 125 subtract 25. It's the same thing, okay? Now from what we have here, this is x cubed subtract x squared subtract. Now 125 can be expressed as 5 cubed, okay? Negative times negative 25. This is plus 25 can be expressed as 5 squared. This is equal to 0, okay? Now from what we have here, let's combine x cubed with 5 cubed, okay? They have the same exponent. Subtract x squared plus 5 squared. This is equal to 0, okay? Which is the same thing as x cubed subtract 5 cubed subtract, now into the bracket, this is the same thing as x squared subtract 5 squared. This is equal to 0. Now we have two parts here. The first part actually is the difference of cubes, of two cubes expressed as a cubed minus b cubed, and the second part here, this is the difference of two squares expressed as a squared minus b squared, okay? So now applying this, the difference of two cubed, we have x cubed minus 5 cubed. This is the same thing as x minus 5 x squared plus 5x plus 5 squared, which is 25, okay? And for the difference of two squares, which is x squared subtract 5 squared, this is the same thing as x minus 5 x plus 5, okay? Now let's combine these two parts. Let's combine the first part and the second part. So this is x minus 5, this is x squared, okay, plus 5x plus 25, okay? Subtract x minus 5 x plus 5. This is equal to 0. Now as you can see, x minus 5 is common, so we can factor out x subtract 5, okay? So that we'll have x squared plus 5x plus 25, okay? Subtract x subtract 5. This is equal to 0. Now that means that we have two parts here. The first part is x minus 5. This is equal to 0. And the second part we have x squared plus, now this is 5x minus x. This is plus 4x. Now we have 25 minus 5. This is plus 20. This is equal to 0. Now this is actually the second part is a quadratic equation. Now the first part we have x minus 5 is equal to 0. So that means that the first value of x is equal to 5, okay? Now let's solve for the other values of x. Now we have a quadratic equation with a equal to 1, b equal to 4, and c equal to 20, okay? So let's substitute these values to the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, okay? Now let's substitute this. Now we'll have, this is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 4 squared, which is equal to 16, subtract 4 times 1 times c, which is equal to 20, divide everything by 2, okay? Now this is negative 4 plus or minus, now we have 16 This is 16. Subtract 20 times 4, which is 80. Divide everything by 2. Okay? Now, from what we have here, this is the same thing as negative 4 plus or minus the square root of. Now, this is 16. Subtract 80, which is equal to negative 64. Divided by 2. Okay? Now, from what we have here, this is the same thing as negative 4 plus or minus negative 64 can be expressed as 64 times negative 1 divided by 2. Okay? And this is equal to negative 4 divided by 2. This is negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 64. This is 8. And the square root of negative 1 is I divided by 2. Okay? So this is the same thing as negative 2 plus or minus, you simplify here, plus or minus 4i. Okay? So we have two complex roots here. We have two complex roots here. We're saying that x2, this is negative 2 plus 4i, and x3 is equal to negative 2 subtract 4i. Now, these are two complex roots. These are actually two complex roots. These are two complex roots. And we have only one real solution, which is x1, which is actually equal to 5. Okay? So these are two complex roots and one real solution. Okay? Now let's check if this real solution, which is 5, satisfies the equation. Okay? Now, if you recall, we end at x multiplied by x multiplied by x, subtract x times x. This should give us a value of 100. Okay? And this x times x times x is x cubed minus x times x is x squared. This is equal to 100. Substitute the value of x, which is 5. So this is 5 cubed minus 5 squared. This should give us a value of 100. 5 cubed, this is the same thing as 5 times 5 times 5, which is equal to 125. So we have 125, subtract 5 squared, which is 25. This should give us a value of 100. Now 125 times minus 25, this is 100, which is equal to 100. Now the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Okay? And that affirms that we have three solutions. So thank you for watching. Follow the steps and like the video and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.